I'm wasting 20 minutes on this stupidity here, something that I'm being charged for illegally, I bet.
We've all been there.
Psychopaths.
Why is good service so hard to find?
The call got disconnected from customer end.
Let's start with what they don't want you to know.
If you give up, they never have to give you a refund, and they've saved a bundle of cash right there.
We're going to share a few tips on fighting back.
Here we go.
I'm Anne Marie McDonald. This Doc Zone is all about customer disservice.
Thank you for calling Customer Disservice. Please hold for the next representative.
Feeling trapped? Trouble getting help?
Please try again.
Crying out in vain at some voice-activated menu?
Your call may be recorded for
Repeat the option.
Expecting nothing from the next available indifferent agent? Except maybe a little lip service? If you're lucky. This is the incredible story of the dysfunctional customer service relationship and how to find your way out.
The customer's always right. You go go.
Or at least get even. Once upon a time, shopping was a thrill. There was the promise of something new. And confidence knowing the salesperson had your back.
Good salesman helps the buyer. The measure of his success is not how many sales he makes, but how many customers he satisfies.
It was a relationship built on loyalty and trust.
Have a moment to spare.
Always for you.
And if there was a problem,
Oh, I'm sorry.
no problem.
You wait just a minute.
Doesn't sound too serious. We can check the engine while you wait if you have a few minutes.
Okay.
$100.
Now flash forward 50 years to a wrecked relationship, shattered and in ruins.
During which the representative had said to me, "Are you done complaining and are you going to let me finish?" I was standing in the store for about 25 minutes.
At least 5 people that work there walked by me.
And I was waiting in line at customer service.
She actually left us fuming, standing by the front desk.
What now? What now?
Customer service is in desperate need of therapy.
You went back and forth how many times?
And truth be told, in the rush for quicker service and cheaper products, we got ourselves into this mess.
What the hell is going on?
Actor Rizwan Manji plays a character in an Indian call center on the sitcom Outsourced, but he knows what it's like to be in customer service hell.
I feel like the system is broken. The person who's going to pick up the phone is not going to be helpful and not going to be able to fix my problem unless I yell and scream.
Manji was double charged by his cell phone company. He wouldn't pay, so they disconnected his phone. His only option was to call and hold for the next available representative.
I just kept waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting.
1 hour, 2, 3 went by. Total wait time? 17 hours.
There's an emotional response to holding in that anger for such a long period of time.
And when someone answered,
I just went like ballistic.
His problem was never resolved.
They've driven out all the costs and driven out all of the humanity, really, of the customer service relationship.
Ben Popkin says companies have taken advantage of their customers.
Grab their money and say, see you later.
Person A, you are the customer. You are going to get upset about something.
I am very upset. My mortgage payment came out twice.
Can't believe I still don't have my statement.
No, I need to hold someone accountable.
Person B, you're going to listen to the tone of voice and say something helpful.
I'm going to take care of this right away for you.
We need to get this resolved for you as quickly as possible.
I'm going to fix this thing myself.
At this ING Direct training seminar, Shelley Rose Charvet teaches call center managers how to resuscitate the dysfunctional relationship.
Thank you. My pleasure. Thanks for
I think the problem is the customers change.
Customers are fed up and want off the merry-go-round.
They have no time anymore. They're under a lot of pressure in their lives. And they don't want to line up over here and go talk to this person over there when they've already talked to someone.
Let me take a look into your profile.
And if you think you're getting the runaround, maybe you are.
We actually have nothing here, so.
And just when you think you're getting somewhere,
I can transfer your call if you want. Shall I transfer your call?
Anybody that has to deal with customer service hates being transferred.
you're probably not.
They struggle with finding out where is that order, when is the inventory coming in.
Is there anything else I can assist you with today?
And she said, okay, you have sent me an empty box.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
That's the way the systems are designed. They're designed to make people tire out and give up.
And this process might take you 20 to 25 business days.
It might be a technical glitch or something like that.
Sorry, I didn't get you.
If you give up and then they never have to give you a refund and they never have to talk to you, then they've saved a bundle of cash right there.
And then we come back and say, I really apologize for the inconvenience, sir. I do understand that.
Press 1 to wait in line.
Is customer service any better face-to-face? It might be. If only you could find a salesperson.
If you strip down virtually every rant that you ever hear, the commonality is you just don't care about me.
Sean Belding is an undercover mystery shopper. He's hired by retailers to spy on their employees. Today, he's posing as a customer who's been sent by his wife to buy 2 recliners.
I wonder how long it'll take to find a living, breathing human being. Oh, there she's talking to me. Oh, there she is. Hands on her hips. Like, there's a welcoming, there's a welcoming pose right there. She's just thrilled that we're here. But
you want recliners?
I'm not sure if she's selling me something or arresting me.
The sales clerk starts her pitch.
And if you were to take, for instance, all 3 pieces, it's just one delivery charge of $75.
Wow.
I'm giving you the 10% off.
People lose sight of the fact that we're people. You just see transactions. After a while, it becomes an assembly line.
Eventually, the clerk loses interest when there's not a quick sale. She walks away, and so does he.
I mean, aside from the fact that if we'd had to wait any longer to be acknowledged, I would have had to pack a lunch. And she just dragged us all over. It's like, well, then there's this, and how about this one, and then there's this one, and then there's this one. And the message to customers is that we're doing business on our terms, and you're not important to us. And we get really antsy when we get that sense that we're not important to people.
Despite the signs suggesting service, Belding sees it getting worse.
We don't have the pride that we had 30 years ago in what we did. And it's a shame because fundamentally, that's really what drives customer service is a pride, a sense of being proud of who you are and what you do. And I think it's really sad.
Joe Gomez knows his regular customers by name. He's been bartending in the same Toronto hotel for 50 years.
When I came in here, people were more dedicated to the guests.
But now he sees a workforce that's constantly on the move.
People used to work here for years and years because they don't move. But today there's so many places to go, and so they don't take things seriously.
And the customers are different too.
Those days it was more of a connection. Today is not as much because we have all kinds of people moving in and out, in and out, in and out. We don't have the same regulars as we used to have then. Life has changed, you know, things have changed.
We may be nostalgic for a certain kind of customer service.
A smile is always part of the uniform.
But we want it fast and cheap.
Please scan your first item and place it in the bagging area.
Who wants to go to the bank?
I thought I'd sent you a check, but I discovered that I hadn't.
Bills are easy to overlook, aren't they?
When we can use this. The reality is, we wouldn't go back if we could.
And we need to be careful about looking at the past with rose-colored glasses. If you have a hankering for back to simplicity, then it looks great, but we deal in complex, ambiguous times now.
It was the 1970s when we abandoned the Main Street mom-and-pop store for the suburban shopping mall.
People started to be a bit more demanding. I want this, I don't want that, and I think that gave rise to a lot more products and services as things were responded to.
As retailers expanded, customer service contracted. Face-to-face was out. The service department was in.
Renovator Supply, can I take your order, please?
when we started to centralize more things for more efficiencies. I believe exactly that that probably was the start of us feeling dehumanized.
Where's my country? Okay, and the part number is
I think customers kind of walked around hoping somebody would help them.
Okay, ma'am, that would go through customer service, but the customer service lines are, they close at 5 o'clock.
This one says, so perhaps you'd like to make arrangements to refund my money or replace our defective merchandise and avoid all this unpleasantness. And usually that's what they would want to do.
With virtually no one listening, many turned to B.L. Aukman and her knack for complaining. $75 and she'd complain for you.
It was fascinating to me how many different ways people were getting screwed. And the bottom line was, and it's still the same, people wanted somebody to say, I am so sorry that happened to you. Let's see what we can do to fix it.
The introduction of automated phone systems in the 90s was supposed to work for everybody, customers and companies alike.
Technology was intended to be helpful to everybody because it does simplify things. It takes away some of the repetitive stuff and, in theory, streamlines things.
Hi, I'm Julie. I don't like that. Hi, I'm Julie. Thanks for calling.
In the world of automated answering systems, she's known as Amtrak Julie.
I actually envision myself talking to somebody, so it doesn't sound robotic, so it doesn't sound like a machine. Thank you for calling. Thanks for calling.
Julie Sider is the voice on dozens of touch-tone and voice-activated machines in the United States.
For sales, press 1. If you need technical support, please press 2.
All this was supposed to make service faster, but
when you're pushing buttons, you get the feeling there's nobody really paying attention. And you get the feeling that you're just a beep. And you may wind up where you want to go. You may not wind up where you want to go. That is an invalid response. Please try again.
And if you do get where you want to go, you still may not get what you want.
Press 2 for long distance.
New Delhi, India, a city hyped as the worldwide solution to 24-hour service. The industrial suburbs, home to the most outsourced overseas call centers in the world. Gone and almost forgotten, customer service is in another world with cheap, round-the-clock access.
Shoveling the customer service call center jobs over to India was kind of like the inevitable conclusion of the trend of driving out the costs out of the system and providing less and less service for less and less money. I mean, the dollar wins.
It's 5 p.m. and a call center van is taking newly recruited customer service agents to training.
So while talking to the customer, customer is able to understand you?
Yeah, most of the time, I would say. They understand me very much. Sometimes I find it very difficult.
That's great.
Yeah.
Luong Larinjam came over 2,000 kilometers from his hometown to get this job.
Whatever, if they don't understand anything, then at the end, the quality will be bad. The result will be bad result. Because you have to be very polite to the customer.
Okay.
And you have to be very slow. You have to make them understand.
Our trainer is teaching us to be polite and, to make apologies when the customer is over on us.
It's only his 4th overnight shift at Navigant Communications. He hasn't been worn down yet by a system that pays him about $400 a month.
Customer is always right. I believe in that.
So today, what's going to happen is we're probably going to do something called your assessment, most eagerly awaited assessment, right? To see whether you guys are, up to the level or not. Few things that I would want you all to concentrate on today would be the sounds, okay? K sound, okay? What else? Kunal?
Ta sound.
Ta sound? Okay, great, okay? And these are the only sounds that I would want you all to focus on because this is where we lack. Okay?
Melody Patswao used to be on the phones. Now she's teaching voice, accent, and culture.
The moment a particular agent makes a grammatical mistake or a pronunciation mistake, then they do not spare them. And the next question would be, where are you located?
They're crammed through a really fast training course and thrown in front of the phones and subject to insane pressure.
Thank you for calling customer service.
Need to keep tapping the delete key in on and off fashion.
Dot B as in Bob.
When you start your computer, you're getting an error message. Am I correct?
Prantik Sarkar is in technical support. Even as a veteran, his biggest challenge is communication.
M as in Mike.
M, Mike.
S as in Sierra.
No, sorry. I'm finding it very difficult to hear you, what you're saying.
All right. Sometimes the customer is not able to understand. I'm not able to provide the right word to the customer. So at the time, you need to be very careful what words you are choosing right now. The call got disconnected from customer end.
You're speaking with Nancy. How may I help you?
Bhakti Dave, alias Nancy, has been on the floor the longest, 3 years.
Today I'm Nancy. Yes, I'm Nancy Smith. I'm in India, basically, but for customers, I'm in 4 different states. Like, let's say in Cleveland, then I'm in Willoughby, I'm in Washington, D.C., and I'm in Delaware. So
Some companies outsourcing to the call center suggest agents disguise their location. So when a caller asks Dave where she is, she's got a few tricks.
we just go ahead and we just search in Google, how's the weather? And we'll simply go ahead and we can say, oh, it's rainy, it's cloudy, it's sunny. So there's all our tricks that what we use over the call.
Now, why is this on my phone bill?
I do apologize, sir. So here, I just want to ask you one question.
Dave represents a North American telephone company. She deals with billing problems and irate customers halfway around the world.
What gives you, your company, the right to charge my bill? What gives you the right to do that?
Sir, I do understand your concern. However, as you have told me that you have never signed up for our service. So, sir, it could be a billing mistake.
I don't have time for this. I'm wasting 20 minutes on this stupidity here, something that I'm being charged for illegally, I bet.
They're doing the best they can. But realistically, we as consumers, we want something that's a little bit more personal. We don't want to feel marginalized when we're being routed around to somebody that not only do they not know who we are or where we live, they know very little about our culture.
You have to bring in your assertiveness.
At the end of the shift, the trainees get a lesson in survival.
To tackle certain kind of customers, you have to be a bit more assertive. At the end of the day, even in customer service, you have to take control of the call. You cannot let the customer control the call. There is always a strategy and a technique to make the customer feel that we are doing exactly what you want.
The frontline people and the customer, they do have to fight it out. And unfortunately, the frontline people can't meet a lot of the customer's needs. The customer gets really upset, and they've got no one else to yell at.
Press 3 if you want to scream.
Enraged and outraged.
She told me to shut up and I said the same right back to her.
Customers today have had enough, and those who serve them had better beware.
He was not understanding me, and he was coming behind the counter.
Open the thing up.
It's not a pretty sight.
Get them in and get them out as fast as possible.
So Jennifer, people are always amazed that you kind of know exactly what they're thinking about. So you're very psychic, very intuitive.
Only the tarot cards will tell what this call center manager thinks.
Now, your number is the number 20, which is the card of judgment. So your intuition is always right. You know when to act. You've never been wrong. So the customer is always right in this case, but that's really who you are anyways.
These customer service reps are being entertained, wined, and dined.
This award goes to the top customer service team.
And given awards for handling some difficult situations that Shelley Rose Charvet says are more common now.
So people are not getting minorly annoyed. When something goes wrong or something takes extra time, people get very enraged. Customers are now, they're impatient, they're demanding, they won't do as they're told, they want something for nothing, they want special deals, they want it now, and they're volatile. This is hard to deal with.
Audrey Morgan runs a local health food store in a suburb of Ajax, Ontario.
Yeah, hi, Jeff. I just wanted to let you know that the product that you had ordered is in stock.
As a small shop manager, good customer service is her trump card. But these days, shoppers often don't trust her.
We are so angry and so anxious because I think people are expecting to get ripped off. Not a problem. Not a problem. Sure.
And some customers are almost paranoid. One in particular stands out.
She would come in, and you could tell by her eyes she was waiting for something bad to happen, and she was in such a state of anxiety. I took her hands, and I looked in her eyes, and I went, I promise you, we are not here to rip you off.
Connecting with customers can be difficult in a stressed out world.
Maybe the crankiness and the expectation and the snarliness in the consumer arena is only a symptom of that feeling of overwhelm.
It didn't take long for former waiter Steve Dublanica to figure out that serving angry, frustrated folks wasn't for him. He'd rather rant about it.
80% of people, they just want to get something to eat. But the other 20% are psychopaths. I mean, just truly out of their mind people.
When difficult customers want service, they want it now.
I think one of the first things is entitlement. A lot of people in this country, they're wannabe rock stars. You know, they see all these people on television and they say, I want to be like that. I want to be waited on hand and foot. And they expect all this like generous treatment. If they feel aggrieved in any way, they feel like they've got to shout it to the world.
There's a pecan tart and a lemon tart that you can feature for your desserts.
Okay, excellent. Perfect.
Steve Nicole is a master at playing the game. Not much gets to him anymore.
Alrighty guys, so go out there, sell some food and have some fun.
No, you don't want to get inside the customer's mind. All you want to do, actually, it's almost like a disassociation. I'm there to facilitate the meal. Fantastic. My name's Steve. I'll be your waiter this evening. You've got to read a table as soon as you get to it. Nice and chilly out there for you? Oh, man. Holy cow, is it ever getting cool, eh? You don't know what kind of day they've had? It's very unpredictable.
Making a mistake might cost Nicole his tip.
People have less disposable income, hard-earned money, less time to go out and eat. And when they do, they want it to be perfect. They're more demanding.
Everyone in America likes to feel they're just a little bit ahead of everybody else. And if they see someone they perceive can't strike back, then they tend to think, oh, you can be like a dumping ground for all our behavior. It's like when people dump on those people in call centers in India. You're anonymous.
Back in New Delhi, Jitender Patania knows the feeling. After 4.5 years answering calls for the same company, he was let go when someone complained that their call had been lost in the system.
I tried to defend myself, but I believe the client was not ready to listen to that.
Patania is looking for another job before he returns home to break the news to his family.
Actually, to be very true, I haven't told my wife until now. There are a lot of times when I didn't even go home for like 5 to 6 months because leaves were not available. I have 2 small kids, so after such a long hard work, if I go back one fine day and tell my family that I'm out of the process because of just one single call, I don't think so. But we have to move on with the lives, so we have to take on the things.
90% of the system is ready, okay?
But the status I can see is we are still waiting for the
We are waiting
parts.
for few parts, so you'll be getting a system for sure as soon as you get the system ready, okay? We do apologize for
I'm
that.
making a note of that and I'll forward the note to the concerned department.
How long am I looking at?
Ruth Moni has an upset customer. He wants to know when his computer will be fixed.
Sir,
Week, a month?
sir, I'm not aware of the estimate date, but we're waiting for the parts and I'm not aware of the exact date.
Well, that's not legal to me, is it?
He's not getting the answer he wants because Moni simply doesn't know. All she can do is read what the computer is telling her.
Sir, right now, what information I have is it's under production and we are waiting for parts. So about
Yeah,
the
but you seem to say you keep repeating yourself. What, you reading it out of a book or something?
The company that's outsourced this customer service contract to the call center doesn't want Moni to say anything more.
Hello?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah, is there someone I can speak to in the whole authority, please?
No, sir. Right now we don't have.
She's not supposed to escalate the call either.
It's not about the customer's fault. It's not our fault also. It's some problem there.
Is there a manager? Have you got your manager or your supervisor or someone like that I can speak to?
We want to have them, but yeah, our hands are closed.
In the end, she transfers him to sales. He won't get his answer there either.
Okay, and while I'm transferring your call to them, you have to press option 1 from the IVR.
Hello,
Okay,
so can you
sir?
hear me? Thank you for being online. Dual channel.
Fed up customers who want answers on the first call don't want the agents. They want someone with power. Sales Director Rafiq Rajwani says, no way.
You will have some customer who just want to speak to a supervisor or manager after 5-10 seconds. We can't just escalate every single call, right? If we escalate every call, then, we'll just let the managers or the supervisor answer the call live, right?
You're making me now take more time and then wait for somebody to call me back. I don't have time for this.
I understand, sir, but even I tried to...
Somebody so I can be done with this.
Duffy is trying to solve a billing mistake, but she doesn't have access to enough information. The customer wants to speak to a manager. She transfers him to a machine.
Thank you so much for your time, sir. You have a great day.
The caller will be transferred. Goodbye.
Working all night at a call center is a high-stress job. A break gives agents their own chance to complain.
I got so many customers, guys, and they were not even listening.
Usually after I get customer, I have to take a break.
What I do is I just come up, I'll just have a cup of tea.
Sometimes, I come upstairs and have a, puff of cigarette for me is enough for me and just release the stress.
Dealing with angry customers can leave a bitter taste.
They make us feel like they are the one who's ruling, being white people. They can rule anyone in the world.
Working in a call center is incredibly difficult. By the time a customer has gotten to you, they've already jumped through so many hoops, they're already so incredibly frustrated that their patience level is just at an all-time, it's just this little thin wire.
Press 4 to get even.
This is Freya Svensson, and this is my story.
They wanted $774 to fix my MacBook.
And people are kind of going like, no, I'm not going to do that.
Because I'm shooting this video with a defective video camera that I purchased from Panasonic.
People just finally were sick and tired and weren't going to take it anymore.
The fight is on. Customers are striking back.
Are you familiar with that noise? Kind of like a tick, 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 tick noise. They ruined one of my speakers.
They're making themselves heard in rather creative ways on YouTube.
As soon as there were tools for people to make themselves heard, that's what they did.
This segment could be from Funniest Home Videos. A cable technician caught asleep on a customer's couch. He was on hold for his company's next available service representative.
The smallest people with a sense of humor have been able to have things like that go viral.
Score one for the customer. The technician was fired and the company changed their entire service policy.
It's now a whole different ballgame.
Here we go.
Companies still think of it as something that, I think in their heart of hearts they hope will go away and they can go back to how things used to be, where you didn't have to listen to these people.
They can't hide these mess ups anymore, and they're being held accountable.
Every day, Ben Popkin posts about 35 stories like that one on a consumer advocacy website. He gets about 3 million visitors a month.
We said, let's be involved with this, let's stoke it, let's blow on the fires, let's give it a place where people can vent. When we started, we were just sort of firing squirt guns at the Spanish Armada, but over time it just sort of built until you realize, wow, we really have something here.
I don't know how to make this any clearer for you. Cancel the account.
This argument between a customer service rep and a customer was the first recorded conversation posted on Popkin's site.
Cancel the account.
The rep wouldn't cancel the service.
Well, explain to me why. I'm not explaining anything to you. Cancel the
account.
He kept the customer on the phone 20 minutes before he gave in.
Well, what's the matter, man? So, I mean, I'm just trying to help here. You're not helping me. You're helping me with I am trying to help. helping me. Listen, I called to cancel the account. Helping me would be canceling the account. Please help me and cancel. No, it wouldn't, actually.
The recording went viral. The service rep was fired. Another win for the customer.
We're talking about a new kind of power that customers have not had before, thanks to the internet, thanks to social media, because now anyone can self-publish. That's huge. That's huge. No longer are big companies the sole controllers of the means of communication, and that alone has changed the whole game.
So your headphone mix okay?
It's all good.
All good? Here we go.
Okay.
I flew United Airlines on my way to Nebraska.
There was only one thing left to do when Halifax singer Dave Carroll couldn't get an airline to fix the guitar they'd broken. He wrote a song.
United, United, you broke my Taylor guitar.
I asked myself, why am I going through this system that's designed to frustrate me and wear me down to the point where I don't want to fight anymore and I'll just go away?
Some big help you are.
Why don't I look at this and hold them accountable to the rules I learned in kindergarten, where if you break somebody's thing, you have to apologize and you have to take responsibility for it.
Being bumped around from agent to agent, country to country, gave him plenty to write about.
It was just no, 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 no. I call what happened was being stuck in a customer service maze. It was a very frustrating experience, seeing a system where everyone seems to agree it's broken, but nobody has the power or the will to change it.
I've heard all your excuses and I've chased your wild gooses. And this attitude...
Carroll turned the song into a video and posted it on YouTube.
To tell you the truth, the minute I started, I felt way better than I had in the last 8 months because now I had the power again.
And if it did, I wouldn't bring my luggage.
His goal was to get 1 million viewers in 1 year. Within 24 hours, there were 25,000 hits. The next day, 50,000.
United Race Guitars.
I heard from hundreds and hundreds of customers around the world saying, don't give up on this. You're doing the right thing, and you're giving people like us a voice that didn't have one before.
He kicked it up a level and leveraged the power of social media to make his case.
One of the most watched viral videos of the summer. Okay, you are going to love this story.
When mainstream media picked up the story, Carroll became a celeb, appearing on talk shows across North America.
I said, Mom, I got some good news. I'm going to be on The View. And there was this dead silence, and then, holy
This is an exclusive. You want to break some news right here.
It's a whole big viral egg on their face.
After just 3 days on YouTube, the share price of United fell by 10%, wiping $180 million off the company's value.
Carroll fought with the airline, seeking compensation.
The song now has over 10 million hits.
The only thing that matters to a company is the bottom line. So, all right, you can play by those rules. We'll make it more expensive to ignore us than to solve our problem.
Did United learn a lesson? They claim they've changed their baggage policy and are checking for upset customers on social media forums.
You can't sell a bad product anymore because you're going to get called on it because there are enough smart people with enough access to each other to make sure that that information is shared.
The airline finally offered Carroll $1,200 in travel vouchers. He said, no thanks. Dave Carroll became famous in his quest for customer service, but most of us would settle for more modest results.
Your call is very, very, very important to us.
Like getting a real person to talk to us. That's what GetHuman.com promises. It's Christian Allen's way to raise a stink.
We get requests all day from users around the world saying, I'm frustrated, I can't get to this company.
GetHuman publishes cheat codes, a combination of prompts that bypasses the automated voice system, a shortcut to a human being.
Once the site went live and word got out and people started coming to the site, it took off from there, and people are more than happy to help you if they know a number, if they know a cheat.
But wait, isn't that agent just going to give you the runaround?
I've been surprised to find recently a lot of people have started to like the robot. What I found is we'll get feedback saying, the person I talked to wasn't that helpful. Give me back the machine. I didn't need to talk to a human.
Press 5 for the next automated agent.
An everlasting promise of gizmos and gadgets,
It will give an advantage that will build good customer relations.
tools and technology to keep the customer content. And that's how we like it.
Customer service now is an unobstructed path. It's, I want to be able to get from there to there, and I don't want anything in my way.
Forget the indifferent help. Forget those frustrating customer agents. Shoppers want hassle-free technology without delay. Online guides, fashion studios, stock locators, Twitter news, iPhone apps, anything automated that services them more. H&M Public Relations Manager Emily Scarlett says it all makes for a better shopping experience.
There is just a whole new level of customer service because you're helping the customer find exactly what they want before they even get into the store.
And once they're in, just leave them alone.
You should get it. Even when you come in the store, I mean, we're not, right in a customer's face.
We don't look for that relationship. We don't expect it anymore, and nor does anybody expect to give it to us.
Thank you for calling ING Direct. Janelle speaking. How may I help you?
CEO of ING Direct Online Banking, Peter Acito, is listening in on customer service calls.
There was an email sent out. Did you receive any email?
He wants to make service fast and cheap.
That's good.
I like how you really explained it to them, which is great. If we can find a way to make it simpler and easy and buy our customers extra time, I think that's adding great value, great customer service too.
He's part of the trend, supported by a recent Harvard survey, that over 50% of people want to serve themselves.
We get lots of customers who come to us expecting to do business with us over the phone, but they realize it's just easier to do it by themselves. This is a revelation that our customers come up with on our own. It's nothing we're doing.
Online and mobile devices are the new service providers.
You've got a branch in your pocket, so paying bills is super easy.
I mean, are you really connecting and building trust with the individual that's sitting in the branch? I suggest not.
If everything's okay, that's fine. But everything changes for the customer when there's a problem. And when there's a problem, I want the people I'm dealing with to understand that I'm upset.
Okay, now tell me why you're calling today.
But does a computer know when you're upset? Nuance Communications claims it has a next-generation answering machine that really does care.
Please say your answer again.
Dan Faulkner says they've got customer service down to a science.
We think people will choose to use automated customer service solutions rather than to hang on and talk to agents.
You can say things like, make a credit card payment, or my cable's out.
We train the system to recognize what people are saying, but really importantly, what do they mean, much more accurately than either a touch-tone system or a human can.
All speech systems have personality.
Creative director Robbie Kilgore is designing a system with a client.
We're creating the illusion of conversation.
He wants them to pick the voice that will create the right impression.
I'm going to play you about 10 seconds of audio. Here are 15 or 20 people saying a single syllable word that's less than a half a second. As you hear this, I defy you not to make images of what you hear. You're going to picture these people going by.
Hi.
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 Hi. Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Hi.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Hi. Hi.
Hi.
Even the tiniest fragment of speech has a bit of personality, and your mind will build these images. So the point is, we need to find the voice that is going to, out of the box, sound like something that's appropriate for the role that it's playing in this system.
So say hello to Simone from Virgin Mobile,
To get hooked up on any of our prepaid plans, hit 1.
Tom from United Airlines,
No problem. My mistake.
and Amtrak Julie.
Okay, let me repeat that.
Amtrak Julie says that her audio avatar is much better than the real thing.
Human beings may not always be paying attention, might be distracted, or, sometimes they might be incompetent. But a computer is hanging on your every word, wants to please you every time, does not want to get you angry. It wants to help you, genuinely wants to help you. And I think that's the difference. Computer doesn't have a bad day.
For service in English,
Please select from one of the following 4
if you
options.
receive a monthly bill and are calling about your account,
Humans are out of the mix, and that brings quick and easy customer service, at least in theory.
Sorry, that answer doesn't match your voice print. Please say your answer again.
Maybe it is desirable for normal, everyday transactions, but for anything that's complicated, that in which some problem solving has to occur, I think you need people with problem solving and communication skills.
I'm an automated system that can handle complete sentences. So tell me, how can I help you today?
We now are in such a rush to get things done that all the technology was designed to connect us to each other, and that's what we did. I think what happened, though, is we lost the beauty of connecting with each other.
I'm the type of guy Valentine's to me is every day. Okay?
Joe Gomez is from a bygone era. He's a talker, a communication expert of a different sort.
All the people come up and see me. And the thing is, when they come up and see me, they'll never forget.
He's had a lot of time to perfect the customer service relationship.
It's like a marriage. Who's the boss? I tell my wife is the boss. My wife says I am the boss. So who is who and who's what? The relationship is to be both ways. But you have to work on it.
And after 50 years of serving, he's always got a little advice.
You have to please them. Once they know that they're going to be well looked after, they don't care. And that's the secret. If the customers are happy, you can do whatever you want with them.
So, is there anything else I can help you with?
Still not a satisfied customer? We aim to please, so you can catch our entire season online at cbc.ca/DocZone. I'm Anne Marie McDonald. Thanks for watching.